Okay, welcome back to Dragon Ball Z Anime Review Part 17. This one covering one of the specials for this series. This is Yo! Son Goku and His Friends Return, released in 2008. And basically, this one was the first original story produced in 12 years, and the first film released in 10 years. And here's something interesting, though, about this special. Now, most of the stuff associated with the Dragon Ball Z franchise has been dubbed into English. This is one of those few things that have not been dubbed into English. As far as I know, there has been no explained reason for this. I've never asked Christopher Sapp about this. Yes. And if you watch this, and if you have watched Super, the animation style is very similar to Dragon Ball Super. Yep, and it's mostly put the same voice cast. They do introduce a few new characters in this one. We get introduced to Vegeta's brother, Tarble, his wife, Guru, who looks like a robot, and basically two guys who can form a name, Avocado. Yeah, there's only one slight problem I have with this. Okay, they say this takes place 2 years after the events after Majin Buu's defeat. Okay. The story is this. The movie starts out with, of course, news proclaiming about Majin Buu being defeated by Mr. Satan, and of course, Videl being embarrassed by it. And she basically summons out her big, let's say, cargo jet to pick up people. And of course, she also talks to Gohan about the upcoming banquet to open up, basically, Mr. Satan's brand spanking new hotel. Oh yeah, apparently Mr. Satan, since defeating Majin Buu, has gotten a lot richer than he once was. He's a filthy rich man. Oh yeah, and they used to be quite interesting though with the tech in here. Like we see Videl talking to Gohan from her, looks like her smartwatch. Yes, this was released in 2008. She basically has a video chat with Gohan from her watch. And of course, Gohan is talking basically from his computer in his room. And of course, Gohan is wearing his high school attire. Which, okay, if this is supposed to take place 2 years after Majin Buu's defeat, shouldn't it be in college? Why would he have to wear the same attire he wore when he was in high school for? Unknown why. Also, Goku is seen wearing a different shirt than usual. Usually when he's at home, he's seen wearing his training gi. Yeah, he wears that constantly throughout the series, except when he's farming. The first time you see him, he's actually wearing his farmer attire he actually would sport in the Super series when growing radishes. That part, him growing radishes, was actually canon in Super, because so basically when he's not training, he's growing radishes and a bunch of other vegetables which he sells via market. And apparently Chi-Chi is farming with him. Okay. And Goten. Oh, by the way, when Goten is not wearing his own training gi, he's wearing Chinese outfits, just like his mother. Which I'm like, really? Gohan did wear that at first. Yeah, he mostly... Now, that's the thing about Gohan and Goten. When they're younger, they're wearing Chinese attire. Like, traditional Chinese dress. Like, the whole Mandarin Kao shirt. Yeah, I'm not really sure exactly why Chi-Chi has a fetish for Chinese clothing, but she does. It's one of the most strangest things for the franchise that has never been explained. Why did she dress like this for? I have no idea. It could be implied that she's of Chinese descent. I mean, if you look at, let's say, the Ox King, for example, he does not look Chinese. No, he looks like he could be Japanese. Or he could be American. I mean, look at Roshi. He definitely looks Japanese. But Ox King, he looks more like an American. He even dresses like an American, too. Yep. And, of course, now Goku, of course, has been living with his wife and sons. Now, I would have thought, though, that by this point, Videl and Gohan may have gotten married. It's implied they're a couple, but here's the thing. They're seen together a lot on screen, but with the exception of the brief conversations they have here at the beginning, and they do see each other, like briefly hear each other briefly after this. After these couple brief sessions of chatting, these two don't talk to each other for the rest of the special, And they're seen constantly together on screen, but they don't do anything. Yeah, so initially, at first, Goku doesn't want to go until Gon mentions there's food, and Goku's like, yeah, I'll go. And you should go too. Yep. Like, everybody goes. And of course, well, Gohan puts on a basically like a three-piece suit. Goku was wearing his training garb. And of course, Gohan is also wearing a suit. Basically, he's wearing a bow tie. Yep. Chi-Chi is wearing her normal clothes. And pretty much everybody throughout the whole series shows up. I mean, all the Z Fighters. Yeah, all the Z Fighters. Including, for some reason, they decided to throw in King Kai, Gregory, and Bubbles. How in the world these three even got there is never explained in this particular special. Also, we see Kabito Kai and Old Kai. When in the world they got the invitation for this particular event, never explained. They're just there for fan service. They really do nothing in this special. It's mostly some of the Z Fighters doing some stuff. And Mr. Satan, I like how he's portrayed here. Basically, like, even though the world gave him credit for basically being Majin Buu, he's actually kind of embarrassed. Now, in the case of Cell, he's not embarrassed by the lie. With Majin Buu, yeah, he's kind of embarrassed by it. Oh, in case you're wondering, now, B does show up in here briefly, where he's actually physically aged. They do mention that apparently Goten is apparently grown, despite the fact he doesn't look like he has. Excuse me. Majin Buu does nothing in this special. He just shows up, eats some food, and that's all you see for him. He does nothing this whole special. And we see everybody basically, we see a brief sparring match between Vegeta, who's also in his, he says it's same formal garb. And he asks, are you expecting from sparring? He says, yeah, and of course they start sparring. And the way Vegeta looks here, basically how he's drawn here in this animation style, it's the same style he used for Super. Though they changed the title for Super for some reason. I don't know why, but they do. So, and we have this wonderful moment of Bulma and Chi-Chi basically just like, oh no, our husbands are out to get in. Basically, they're fighting. And of course, well, of course they didn't like, hey, let's put some holes we have to eat. And Vegeta's like, yeah, good idea. And then they start picking out. Yep. And they're eating for a while, and then all of a sudden we see two spaceships coming into Earth's atmosphere. Who's inside these spaceships? We see a man with a tail. Yep, it's a Saiyan. And these and a strange-looking alien come with them, with this person, and they fly to where everybody else is, and it's Turbo. Yep, and Vegeta's like, Turbo, and Turbo says, my brother, and of course everybody's shocked the fact Vegeta's got a brother, and apparently he was sent to the planet he was sent to, because apparently he's a terrible fighter, or he apparently got himself a wife. Yeah. Like, everyone thought she was like a robot. Nope, that's what the alien looks like on the planet. And, like, he needs his help, with defeating these two guys who are part of Frieza's army. And here's the thing, Turbo's got a scouter. And Vegeta points out, though, those things are not very accurate. So basically, Goku just powers up and wrecks the scouter. My only guess is the reason why Turbo was given a scouter is because that was a recurring gag early on in the series where we have people getting massive power boost and the thing just exploding without doing hardly any damage to anybody who wears them. Yeah, I thought that was hilarious. And of course, they all have a little thing like, okay, who needs to fight these people? So we see everybody gets shot at basically trying to figure whoever pulls the longest radish gets to fight these two guys. And we see these fine people pulling radishes. We see Goku, we see Vegeta, Trunks, Goten, Gohan, and I think even Krillin got a chance basically pull in. Even I think Yamcha did. They basically all get instant transmission back to Goku's place. And here's the thing. And the person who won this was Trunks. Because he pulled out a one that was like really long. Longer than Goten's. And like they wreck the hotel and the other two show up. And of course, Vegeta does remember these two. Apparently, they were on the same level as the Ginyu Force, and Gohan and Goten and Trunks basically battle for a period of time, and Gohan volunteers to help, but he's like, didn't need much help. Can I coach you? He's like, sure, yep, and it does help, especially when they turn themselves into like multiple different forms of themselves, and then we had them basically wrecking the hotel. Of course, everybody get a chance to do a lot. Heck, even Yajirobe's here to slice up a building. Which I'm like, damn, Yajirobe's slicing up stuff. Yeah, this character's not being extremely lazy. The only character who doesn't show up here in this special is Korrin. I'm like, really? You have all the characters here appear in Dragon Ball Z, but you don't have Korrin show up? Yeah, I thought that was kind of weird. MSA is depressed over the destruction of his hotel, and of course, Abakara gives up his fight against him, eat some food later. Yeah. And of course, they get beaten, and of course, they give up the fight. All in all, this was a great special. And I kind of wish this was like start of a new anime for Dragon Ball Z, because there was plenty of story they could told here, but nope. And here's the thing. I kind of wish this was a little bit longer than 35 minutes. I kind of wish it was just like over an hour, because there was so much story you could throw in here. It's like this was done purely for the fact that they were having any Dragon Ball content produced at the time in 10 years. Yep, and pure fun this particular special was. I do highly recommend it for fans of the Dragon Ball Z franchise. It's just that the only problem with the special is, aside from the saying it's 2 years, you could possibly fit it in, if they hadn't mentioned it was for 2 years, you could easily fit it in Super. I would say just before Beer showed up. Yeah, I would say just for the start of the series, I would throw in basically that. Because Gohan and Videl are not married at this point. They're still living separately, so that means they're not married yet. And they don't got their massive mansion they're known for having. And the only other thing I don't like about this, no dub. I would think, really, Funimation? You have the license to dub Dragon Ball Z. You dubbed the entire 100 and 291 episode anime. You dubbed all 13 films. You dubbed 2 out of the two specials, Bardock and Trunks. But you don't dub this one, a one that's really, really good, one I thoroughly enjoyed watching. Yeah, unknown why that this thing wasn't dubbed. I kind of wish it was. But all in all, great special. I will do, in fact, more reviews of the stuff related to Dragon Ball Z. There's still a few other specials left. I think there's about 4 specials left. You got the one for Bardock, which I do own that one. I have seen it. Trunks, I have not seen this one yet, but I do own it. There's also Plan to Eradicate the Saiyans and Plan to Eradicate the Super Saiyans. Basically, it's like 4 specials and 13 movies to review, which I will probably review at some point. Yep, so that's a particular review. My next review will be the first review for Claymore. Yep, Claymore. Okay, see you next video. Bye.